Welcome everybody to the For Pet's Sake podcast with Greg Boone.
Greg Boone, what's the show about today?
We're going to talk about pets, as always, and just kind of go from there. Just kind of see how it plays out. Sound good? Tim, welcome to the show. Glad you're here. Um, you came out with a product called Puddles Be Gone. Do you want to tell us about that?
Yeah, well, I guess what, 12, 15 years ago, we always had big dogs and our floors are always wet because everyone knows how golden retrievers and Dobermans are around the water bowl. And like all the other pet owners, we fought it with towels and mops and trays and rugs and you name it. You buy stuff and it don't work, so you just do what you got to do because it's part of having a dog. And then I fell off my roof and I broke my shoulder and they wanted me to sleep in the living room, sitting up in a recliner. So I had an ice water pump that pumped ice water up to my shoulder that for inflammation and stuff. So
Mhm.
every time I got up to go to the bathroom, my socks would get wet, and I'd come back to the recliner and I'd plug that ice water pump back in, and then I'd sit there and I'd shiver because I couldn't change my own socks. They didn't want me to bend over like that. So I told my wife, I said, "Man, I'm just sick of this. I either want to get rid of the dogs or I'm sick of it." So after I got a little better, I got on Amazon and I probably ordered about 15 different waters. I ordered every water that even remotely said it solved the problem. And some of them kind of did, but most of them really didn't, or they made other problems. So the ones that kind of worked is what gave me the idea for mine. And my original one was made with a 5 gallon a 5 gallon Culligan jug. Actually, it was a 4 gallon. I don't know, but anyway, it was a big Culligan jug and a toilet and two toilet bowl fixtures and some hose clamps. But the good thing about it was that I could adjust the water level up and down. So the lower I got the water level, the less the mess got. And then I hit this part where the water level is only maybe about 5 or 6 millimeters deep, and the mess just poof, it's gone. No trails on the floor, no puddles around the bowl, no nothing. So I only made it for me initially, but my sister had big dogs and my son had big dogs and I had friends that had big dogs. So I told people about it and they're like, "Really? Well, I want to try one." So I made like 5 prototypes and I gave them out to different people. And everyone I gave a prototype to, when I gave it to them, I told them they need to give it back so I could like try it out with other people to see how well it worked. Well, everyone I gave one to said, "You ain't getting this back. This is the shit, dude." So I got on the internet and looked, and worldwide there was no other gravity waters that keep a low water level in the bowl. About the thickness of your pinky finger. So I did my due diligence and my research, and when I seen there wasn't any, I decided I was going to file for a patent and start a business. And that's the beginning of it. But even after that, it was a deep dive because you figure I probably had a couple of 100,000 into it before I even had my first product in my hand. Because you got to have the dies all made because it's injection molded, and I own the dies, so it's all my product, and one of the dies cost over $50,000. So it was. I tell everybody it was a long climb up to the highest high dive I could find, and I jumped into the deepest water I could find, and I didn't have a clue how to swim.
Wow. Okay. Awesome. Awesome. Okay. Well, kind of a twist on that on my side. My parents' dog found out had stage 4 kidney disease and got her started on Pet Life product. And she started refusing to eat out of the dishes and everything. And now she has refused to drink out of a bowl. So while you're over there trying to figure out how to stop puddles, I'm over here trying to make puddles because that's the way she does it now. And so I pour a little bit of water out on the floor for her, and she'll drink it. And then she doesn't always finish the puddle. She'll sometimes leave it, and then she look at me like, okay, pour more out for me, please. And then so I pour some more while there's still a big puddle, and she continues to drink, and then she just does that until she's done. And then I end up having to clean the mess up and yeah,
So
get
you
those puddles off the floor.
so you have wet socks all the time.
I do. I do. My nephew has a big dog. He has a boxer, and when it's over, it slobbers everywhere. Water just drips here and there.
Yep.
And so yeah, I like to walk around sock-footed, and so I call them sock killers.
Yep.
So, because once your socks step in that water, it's
It's done. You need new
yeah,
ones.
got to get a new pair on. So, um, but anyway, so yeah, so that's where my parents' dog's at right now, and with her water and everything. And other than that, it's doing pretty good. And so, do you have any pets currently, or?
Oh my God, yeah, I got a Doberman that's 2.5. I got a golden retriever that's 10.5. I got a toy poodle that's about 2.5. I got a cat, an indoor cat that's probably over 20 years old. And I got an outdoor cat that's probably 15 years old. And we got 2 guinea pigs. And I got an 8-year-old granddaughter we adopted.
Wow. Okay. You got your hands full.
Yeah, I got a few pets.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess. So, all right. Um, what ages are they? How long have you had them, and what's their backstory?
Oh, my Doberman. I just like Dobermans. I got a
Okay.
thing for Dobermans. They're good dogs. This is my third one. She's my first European Doberman. My other one were Americans. And I got to tell you, she's by far the best dog I've ever had. She is awesome. And the Golden, well, he's just a Golden. He's a good dog, but he's a Golden. And the toy
Okay.
poodle, he's got little dog syndrome, kind of like
Okay.
little man syndrome, you know?
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
he's got little dog syndrome.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Well, then, um, several years ago, I had a black lab and an English pointer, and I like going out hunting birds. At least back in the day, I did, and I always liked working around dogs and everything. And so um, they were good dogs. So uh, I lost the black lab in 2012, and so yeah, it's been quite a few years. So, but they were both
Well,
good
it's like
dogs.
it's like losing a kid.
Yeah,
There's
yeah, it
my
is.
there's the head of my Doberman there. She's always got to be part of it.
Okay. Yeah.
She's got a thing when I'm on the computer. She won't bug me all day long. As soon as I open the computer up, she's in my lap.
Gotcha. I gotcha. Okay. Yeah. So, well, let's bring on our next guest, Jim.
Yeah, can you hear my voice?
I sure can. How
Well,
you doing today?
my dad taught me that when you enter a new room, whether it's social media or the real world, keep your darn mouth shut and listen. Because if you are not the alpha male, somebody in that room is going to bite you in the ass. And that's how
Okay.
I live my life. So thank you for having me here as a guest. I am
Absolutely.
deeply involved in politics, and my first time was in 2015. And I ran the sheriff's race in the second largest county in Arizona and lost. And she is now the head of the Humane Society in Columbus, Ohio.
Okay.
And then I stay up in the White Mountains. So I built out the whole website for the White Mountain Humane Society. And
Okay.
then I lived in this gorgeous gated community that's 55 and over. And one day, well, about 2 weeks, people were trying to chase this boxer mix. And my neighbor was really smart. He put down a 5-gallon bucket of water and he put a loop around it with a rope. She put her head in there and he got her. So
Oh,
they took him to animal control. And we did everything possible to love and adopt that dog. And we ended up with her. She was
awesome.
27 pounds. She's supposed to be 42.
Hmm.
I trained her with a 30-foot leash, the dumbest dog I've ever seen in my life. Gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous brindle boxer mix.
Hmm.
And she would run across the field and look like a thoroughbred horse. One of the most gorgeous things I've ever seen. But she
Yeah.
would avoid dogs totally. I couldn't give her treats. And she never got housebroken in the 3 years we had her. But do I love boxer mixes? Yeah. When I was 14, my neighbor had the best dog I've ever seen in my life. We called him Pox. P for police
Okay.
dog, German Shepherd, and OX for boxer. And this monster had no idea how strong he is. He used to run around in my backyard with his paws tearing up her turf. But that was the
Mhm.
best dog I ever had. And because it was my neighbors, it's like grandchildren. You can play with them, love them, and just send them home.
Awesome. Yeah. Okay. Awesome.
So I can
So,
help both of you guys.
all right.
You know what a QR code is?
Absolutely.
1.3 billion Chinese use my technology instead of cash. And they have for over 10 years. Was invented by a little family owned company, actually, a guy and a girl called Toyota. They
Mhm.
have only 5 licenses in the world, and my partner and I own the only one in North America.
All
So
right.
I saw one of you, was it you, Tim, who's got an amateur created freebie QR code on your site?
Yep. Sorry.
Okay, you are losing. I'm not a nasty, I'm a lover, but you're losing 20 to 70% of your target market and you don't even know it. So if you'll give me an opportunity, I'd love to show you how to get 100%.
Okay. I may have to possibly connect up with you later.
And that's all I have to contribute. I'm here honored to be with you. And I enjoyed your story. I can relate. And by the way, you talked about socks, and I am going to brag a little bit. I got hired to go back to Cincinnati to turn around a miserable company that fired all their people and lost 50% in sales. And eventually I got fired. But before I did, we created this project in this product. Have you ever been in a hospital?
Yes, sir.
Well, what you had on your feet is what I introduced by writing a $1.8 million order with my friend Sam Walton and a $1.6 million order with Kmart. And I got
Awesome.
fired for it. Yep.
Awesome. I
Snuggle
actually,
top.
that's awesome because everybody, all the hospitals got them now.
Yep. And
Yeah,
I can't take credit. I was not smart enough to go after them. My successor did.
no, that's cool. I can actually say I used to drive a semi 30 years ago for JB Hunt, and I
Oh,
li-
yeah.
and down in Lowell, Arkansas, where all that's at. I actually met Sam Walton once and shook his hand, and met JB Hunt and shook his hand.
Wow. Well, you talk about trucking. I was the best known unemployed guy in Chicago, and I have receipts to prove it. But I became a certified driver's instructor for the #1 transportation in the country.
Awesome.
It's called First Transit. They own Greyhound, and we had the contract for public transit with Chicago called PACE, and I drove a 16-ton air brake with special needs adults. It was the best job I ever had in my life. The girl to my right would say, "Hey, Mr. Jim." I'd say, "Hi, Jody. I had Cheerios for breakfast." I said, "Great, Jody." "Hey, Mr. Jim." "I kissed the boy last night." "Great, Jody." And that went on for like 40 miles as I took these people out in the country. I loved them.
Sounds like a good, fulfilling job.
It was 4,200 special needs adults called Pioneer Center. And I'm thinking of hiring them right now.
Yeah.
I got a new product that I'm introducing that should make us, oh, I don't know, a few hundred million or a few billion.
I'm kind of hoping my product gets nationwide and worldwide pretty soon because it really works. It's amazing how well it works. I have no towels, no rugs, no trays, no mops, no nothing on my floor anymore, and I still got big dogs.
Well, stay close to Kurt because he's really wired, and I'll give you 3 others. Are you familiar with Easy Way Network?
Yep.
All right. Join Eric. Are you familiar with JV Directory?
No.
Join that. It's Mark Porteous and David Ricklin. Are you familiar with Grand Connection?
Yeah, I've actually been to a couple of their meetings.
Okay. And the final one is Carolina Billings, who's in Toronto, and I forgot the name of her worldwide female network. But if you get hooked up with those, you really got a good start.
Okay, yep, that's cool. I know. I just come home from Columbus on a 5-day dog, the Carolina Cluster Dog Show in Columbus,
Columbus,
Ohio.
Ohio?
Yeah, I was there for
Well,
5 days.
that's where Kay runs the animal shelter.
Okay. Well, I got a story on that too. I'm getting connected with the animal shelter where I live at. I've donated 5 of my waterers to them for their cat rooms, and they absolutely love them. And they said the cats absolutely love them too.
Where do
So
you live?
in Tipton, Indiana,
Where's Tipton?
about an hour north of Indianapolis.
Okay. I used to live in Louisville, and my girlfriend's from New Albany.
Oh,
And
cool.
I there's a little school up there called Notre Dame, so I'm a
Yep,
little tied with them.
yep. Heard of it.
Well, looks like you're doing all the right things, Tim.
I'm working on it. My goal is to be in regional stores by the end of this year. I launched 3 years ago, and I proved that I have a product that works, that people want, that people like, and I it's a proven concept now after I've been doing it for 3 years. So it's time to take the next step.
All right. I was on the stage in Newport Beach in front of 500 venture capitalists. So if you can write down this name and send me an email, I'll introduce you. His name is Josh Bois, Bois. And I would highly recommend. He did my pitch deck. I paid him $4,000, and it was phenomenal. And what an opportunity! 500 VCs. One of the guys got $50 million that day.
Oh wow!
Nice
I've
guy.
done a
He's a
lot.
big guy.
I've done a lot of things since I started my business. I actually flew to LA last Christmas, and we met with Kevin Harrington and
Oh yeah.
his crew. But that was all about money, and they wanted more than I had, so we walked away from it.
My neighbor's son flies. What's his name? Mark Cuban. He's his jet pilot.
Oh, cool.
And Damon Jones. What's his last name? Damon what?
I don't know what his
I'd
last
like
name
to meet
is.
him.
Damon
And the other
John.
guy I almost met was the star of The Prophet. He owns Camping World.
Oh yeah, Marcus Lamons or whatever.
Yes, yes.
Mhm.
So if you make those contacts, it'll change your world.
Well, I just got in contact with the director of products for PetSmart, and
Wow.
I'm getting
Boy,
ready to
that's a
send.
home run.
Yeah, so I'm getting ready to send them one of my waters for them to sample in their office.
Wow.
Yeah, I gotta not fumble this one, that's for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
especially that one. I mean, that's the home run.
Yep, it's the director of sales. That's what it is for PetSmart.
And Greg, what can I do to help you?
Uh, just spread the word about pet life, more Mito, and
Give me the Reader's Digest version. What is Pet Life? A
okay.
publication?
No, I'm sorry. Um, Pet Life is a product of more Mito, and basically, we help replenish the mitochondria in the body, so the energy. So your cells run on energy. That would be your mitochondria, and it's it's a matter of life and death. I mean, without mitochondria, um, your brain would stop working, your heart would stop working, everything would stop working.
And
And
you're a PhD?
no, sir, I'm not.
Are
I'm just
you
a guy.
MLM?
Yes, kind of. It's a marketing thing.
Good
So
for
yeah.
you.
Thank you.
Well, if you stay close to Kurt, his new venture, I think his name is Troy. I met him once. I think that that may be one of the best platforms for you. I started out hating MLM, and then I
Mhm.
jumped in with both feet, and I have
Okay.
a lot of experience.
Awesome. Okay. Good to hear.
You heard of a little company called Amway?
Oh yeah, was part
My
of them.
quick story, he's like 89 years old, one of my board members who resigned. He lives in the same town. And he was telling me a story that he was the president of the Illinois Bankers Association. And his son lived across the street from me for 17 years. I didn't even know it. So I got him involved with the governor here,
Mhm.
and I got in his downline. Anyway, he was a banker, and this guy kept in Michigan, and this guy kept making huge deposits. So one day he said to him, "What kind of business do you run?" He said, "Oh, it's called Amway." Well, well, he became one of the very first guys. So, I mean, he's way up in that pyramid. And like I said, he's 80 something years old.
Wow. Okay. Cool. Yeah, this is part of Amway. Gosh, several years ago. So yeah, that's about it. Yeah, I didn't.
So let me give you some facts. I'm not going to give you a sales pitch because
Sure.
I'm just a guest, but I do help people. My daughter died at 38. She's buried overlooking Pikes Peak for all eternity. She said, "Daddy, you're connected. Pay it forward with random acts of kindness." So I listened to my daughter. And now my blind guy from Lions Club is up there with her. I think they're playing pool and laughing at me. And so I'm in national politics, I'm in charity, I'm in TV production, I'm in communications, I'm in about everything you can imagine. And I got to quit getting in handcuffs. I just got out of jail, 76 days. That's a $10 million lawsuit. But what I do is I take a QR code, which don't you swear at me now that you know who I am, and I create a call to action symbol. Think of it as a business card on steroids, and it revolutionizes the industry. It's $79. That's it. I'll deliver it in 12 to 24 hours. If you already have a business card, yours can be on the front, I'll be on the back, or I'll do the front for you too for 47. I am Staples' biggest customer. I order business cards tens of thousands at a time. You show up at your local Staples, you give them $60, they give you 1,000 business cards, and you're off and running. So what they are is the ticket to the information highway. It's an entrance ramp. That's all it is.
Mhm.
And it took 15 years and cost me everything. But what I do is 90% of the amateurs bring people to their website. The worst thing you could possibly do, because only 15% of users sit in front of that desktop website. 15. And all
Mhm.
these people spend all their money building a website for 15% of the market. Now, even though I've got a very heavy computer background, I don't do that. I do the 85% of the market, and that's a mobile device. And I do it better than anybody on the face of the earth. And the product I do is $149 one time, and it's $30 a month posting, and the value is exponential. And then I do, my wife said, "You're the best known unemployed guy in Chicago. You haven't brought home paycheck in years. Why are you giving this stuff away free?" Well, what I have is called a ROI track report, return on investment tracking, and it's real life, real time. And I can tell you everything that scanned that code, but the shoe size and sexual preference. So I'm getting ready to go to Google and make a presentation because they screwed themselves big time in March. They cut off 10 million accounts. And I happen to have the solution that will make them happy, but I'm not going to walk into their office until I have the IP locked down. And that's why I've been waiting. So 3 products, $79, 149 and zero. And the zero is worth like $10,000 to a political campaign. So enough of my sales pitch. That was my elevator speech.
Okay. Thank you.
And the website is down. It's called calltoactionsymbol.net. I'm fighting with Hostinger. Call is in telephone call. Numeral 2. The word action, the word symbol, symbol.net. But you can go to my movie site. It is roitrack.com. Return on investment tracking. And I'm done.
All right. Awesome. Thank you for being here as our guest. Appreciate it. So,
What charities do you guys support?
well, I help rescue horses. So, from slaughter. So, I'm big into helping horses. So, got a passion for that.
You know, we have wild horses here in Arizona, right?
Yep, absolutely.
They're gorgeous. Yeah. And they are
Mm,
very protected. I mean, very protected.
that's good.
How about you, Tim? What
I
charities are you involved in?
I support the local humane society. On Mondays and Tuesdays, I transport feral cats to get spayed and neutered, and then I'm in the process right now with the director of my local humane society to get my information in the packet they give to new adoptees. So they're going to promote me along with the adoption, and also 10%. I have a QR code that I gave to them where anybody that makes a sale off of that specific QR code, 10% of all the sales go directly to the Humane Society. And what
All
I
right.
want to
When you
do, what
go
I
ahead.
want to do when I get bigger and I get nationwide, I'd like to give 10% of all my sales to the Humane Society, but that little way is coming.
All right, here's what I'm going to do for you. If you drop me an email, it's jim.bannon@calltoactionsymbol.net. I will give you what I built for the White Mountain Humane Society. I'll just give it to you.
All right. So what is it, Jim.Bannon what?
At calltoactionsymbol.net.
Okay.
And the 2 is the numeral 2.
Okay.
and you can show it to the board and see if they're interested.
Okay. Yeah, I'm in the process right now. I'm collaborating with the director of the Humane Society, and we're trying to make up a flyer that they're gonna where it includes me and them kind of almost equally and promotes adoption and all that stuff at the same time. We're working on it. It's a slow process.
Oh, I know, but I do it in like 12 hours. My tagline that I developed 15 years ago is I bring the offline world, that's what your flyer is, to your online presence, trademark. And I do it better than anybody on earth.
All right.
Awesome. Yeah.
So I'm glad to help. I'm going to let you guys go. Looks like my candidate stood me up. I got a 3-hour drive back to Globe, and I got to present to their city council tonight. So anytime you need me, just give me a shout. I'll bend over backwards. I love Kurt. I love his organization. I just built the website for Project Die Hard, the mobile, and I'm going to be deeply involved in the great discovery.
All right.
Awesome. Awesome. Sounds good.
Good
Bye-bye.
meeting you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Good to
Jim.
meet you.
All right. Good to meet you as well. Thanks, Jim. All right. Well, like to say go out there and find out who your senators and representatives are and give them a call and urge them to get the SAFE Act, the Save America's Forgotten Equine Act, on the 2026 Farm Bill. That is pretty much the only way we're going to be able to um, ban the slaughter of horses. So, um, and by getting that on the bill, basically, that passes, what that does is that bans the export and transport of horses bound from Mexico and Canada. So, where they get slaughtered. So if you could do that, that would be a huge help to all my listeners out there. Appreciate that. And think I think we'll wrap it up with that. And Tim, is there anything else you'd like to say? You got the last word or
No, no, I mean, I guess I don't, not really. I've already promoted myself pretty much good enough.
sure.
I've talked about it. So, I mean, there's no reason to do another. So, no, I think I'm good.
All right. I think I'm pretty much good as well. Give a shout out to Mormido and their pet life product, and as well as their human product, Restore. Um, so we help people and pets thrive at the cellular level through mitochondrial support. So thank you everybody for watching, listening. Appreciate your time.